Hey music lovers, I'm Tim Nichols with the Christian Rock and Metal Collective, and I'm going to show you my 3 Millennial Reign albums today. These are all on vinyl. One of them has a color vinyl. I showed that in a previous video. I'll go ahead and put that in the video description. So far they have 3 different albums out, and they all feature 3 different lead singers. One thing you're going to notice is that Dave Harvey is kind of the mainstay in this band. He is the one member that you're going to see consistently throughout all 3 albums. The rest are kind of rotating pieces. The first album, Carry the Fire, features the vocalist James Guest. James Guest has a very Queensryche type sound. So if Queensryche is a band that you like, you're going to love this style. It really nails it. The only unfortunate thing is this vinyl is not available anymore, but they do have plenty of them available on CD from Millennial Records. You can probably get them on Amazon and different US outlets as well if you don't want to pay for that shipping. But this is Millennial Reign's debut album. Their second album, The Great Divide, it has vocalist Travis Wills. This has more of your classic metal type of voice. It gives me some Rob Rock vibes. It also gives me some Iron Maiden vibes. There are several mainline metal bands, especially from the 90s and early 2000s, that they have a really nice sound with. Their third and most recent album, World on Fire, features Tiffany Galkut, I hope I'm saying that last name right, as a vocal. So this is the first time they've had a female vocalist. And I'm always pretty fond of female vocalists, especially in metal bands. Sometimes that power metal sound with a female voice just has that perfect blend. Let me just go ahead and show you some of the features of this first album. Of course, as I said, this one is limited to 300 pressings, but when you look inside, it's got some pretty cool little features too. It comes with this nice little insert, and it gives you lyrics, and then on the back, it gives you some information about the band members. It shows you a picture of the current band as it stands, and then it has that awesome artwork on it. The guy in armor carrying the flag. I just really love the overall theme of warfare on this. And then when you take a look at the vinyl, you can see this is just a standard issue black vinyl, but there were only 300 of these made. It's still pretty cool to own, especially since it's so rare. Pretty much impossible to find at this point. And of course, the artwork on The Great Divide still has kind of that fire theme with the molten lava and the lake. It's got the arched bridge, just really sharp, sharp, sharp. And then when you look at the back, of course, you got a picture of the band, and you notice the Dave Harvey there and the Travis Wills. For this one, my favorite track on this album is the title one, The Great Divide. That is amazing, an amazing song. Get to the inside, of course, this is standard black vinyl. Has a really nice label. Everything looks really sharp about it. This plays really nice and clean. Absolutely love this. Then, of course, they come with the poster artwork on the inside. It has the lyric sheet on one side, and on the back it has the members of the band. I really like the font size of this, especially for me at 50 years old. It's nice to have what looks to be about an 8-point font, so it's pretty easy to read. Another good thing about it is that the words are contrasted really nice against that background, so you can see them very easy. It's no strain to see them. Now that we get to the World on Fire, you see again this very similar theme. This actually reminds me of As the World Bleeds from Theocracy, but instead of blood we have fire in the buildings, and this is just really sharp. I'll say this again, I really like Millennial Records artwork. You see a few rotating pieces in the band. I'm pretty sure that this guy right here was on the previous album as well. And of course on the inside you're going to have this nice little insert with the lyrics on it. And then when you flip it over, this is actually pretty cool. It's a full page image of the band, almost like a poster. I absolutely love these little inserts, and I think it's a nice little reward. Of course, this vinyl is absolutely epic with that orange and black splatter. It just looks absolutely amazing. I listened through on this, and there is a little bit of hiss in the background. Colored vinyl tends to do that. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's thick, or it could be a myriad of things. It could be static, because a lot of times when I get records from overseas, they do tend to be a little staticky for a while. One thing I do recommend is to get a Vinyl Buddy. A Vinyl Buddy is a little roller, and I'll put the link to that in the video description. It really helps you get the dust particles and all that off of it, and it's harmless to your records. It's really cool, but this is a sharp looking record, and there's only 100 of these being made. Now this is also available in regular black vinyl if you want to save a little bit of money and you don't really care too much about color vinyl. But for me, I'm always a sucker for colors because I think it looks so sharp. So now as we look at the work of Millennial Reign, first of all, I really want to talk about their songwriting. Their songwriting skills, I'm not sure if Dave is the one that writes the songs, but their songwriting skills is next level. Every one of their songs, number one, very clear gospel message. Jesus is central to it. The lyrics are very well written. Their music has a lot of symphonic metal trends to it, but it's not as symphonic as, say, Aaliyah, but there's really a nice balance between that symphony and that metal. It's just a really nice sound. I highly recommend that you check out all 3 of their albums. But when it comes to Millennial Reign and which one is my absolute favorite album, I have to say I love the one that features Travis Wills. Travis Wills just really hits that spot for me. This is kind of my style. This is kind of my jam. But I've got a buddy who really likes that Queensryche sound. And if you really like that blend between a female vocalist, that metal sound, you're probably going to be quite fond of their new album, World on Fire. Now, my understanding is that Tiffany Galkut is going to be their permanent vocalist. And a lot of times, whenever you have a transition into a permanent vocalist. You have that one record where you're kind of finding yourself. And I believe that may be the case with this one, to where they're kind of finding their style. But I believe as the members of this band gel, they're really going to find each other. One thing I noticed on the new album is that sometimes the vocals seem a little bit faint, like they're not turned up loud enough. And I think those are things that they will get worked out as they get used to this new vocalist. But overall, all three of these albums have a very clear Christian message, and I think they're absolutely worth your time and worth you listening to. Give them a listen. God bless you. Keep calm. Jesus on.